Okay, let's get real for a second. What if I told you the secret to building massive wealth wasn't some complicated financial strategy, but a super simple rule you could start using like right now? Sounds a little too good to be true, I know, but stick with me because we're about to break down something that could totally change the game for you. You know the story we always hear, right? You need a six-figure salary, or you've got to get lucky with some crazy stock pick or a lottery ticket to build real wealth. But is that actually how it works? Is getting rich really just for the lucky few? Well, the answer is actually a lot simpler than you might think. See, the road to financial freedom, it's not about making these huge, dramatic leaps. It's all about the small, consistent steps you take every day. It's about shifting from hoping for luck to building with consistency. And that's exactly what we're diving into. It's called the 1% rule. And honestly, it's a super simple idea that's behind some pretty extraordinary success stories. So what exactly is this rule? It's dead simple. The 1% rule is just about making a tiny 1% improvement in whatever you're focusing on every single day. We're talking 1% smarter about your money, 1% more disciplined about what you buy, 1% more consistent with how you invest. And this is really the key takeaway here. This is not about trying to save half your paycheck overnight. That's just not realistic. We're talking about the little things, the things you'd barely even notice, like deciding to skip one fancy coffee, but doing it consistently, day after day after day. This whole concept really blew up thanks to the book Atomic Habits. And the big idea, the real insight, is that these tiny little improvements, they don't just add up. Nope, they compound. Think of it like a snowball rolling downhill. It starts small, but it picks up speed and mass and ends up being this unstoppable force. But you might be thinking, how on earth do these teeny tiny improvements lead to such massive results? Well, this is where the magic happens. It's all about the power of compounding. Look, a 1% gain feels like nothing, right? It's so small you might not even see the progress at first. It just looks like this slow, boring, straight line. But here's the secret sauce. The growth isn't linear at all. It's exponential, because every day's tiny improvement is building on top of yesterday's improvement. And the math behind this crazy growth, it's ridiculously simple. It's just 1.01, that's your starting point, plus that little 1% raised to the power of the number of days you do it. That's the whole formula. That is literally the formula for building momentum. Okay, so what happens when you run that formula for a whole year? The result is absolutely insane. You don't end up just, 365% better. No way. You end up almost 38 times better than where you started. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's the power of compounding these tiny daily efforts. All right, that's the theory, that's the math, but what does this look like in the real world? Let's break it down with a quick story about two people who take two very different paths and end up in two completely different places. So let's meet Person A and Person B. Person A is our 1% improver. They're all about those small wins, saving a little bit each day, investing whatever they can, and always trying to learn something new. Then you've got Person B. They're more of a live for the moment type, spending whatever comes in, always saying they'll invest later, and not really interested in learning new stuff. Okay, now check out what happens over time. After a month, you can't really see a difference. They look pretty much the same. But fast forward a year, and you start to see a real gap opening up. And after 5 years, it's not even close. They're living completely different lives. Person A is building security, creating choices for themselves. Meanwhile, Person B is stuck in the same spot, totally frustrated, wondering why they're not getting anywhere. And this brings us to a really crucial point. Success, especially when it comes to money, it's not about making one big heroic move. It's the sum total of thousands of small, almost invisible choices that you make every single day. All right, so you get the idea. You see how powerful compounding can be. Now for the most important question. How do you actually do this? How can you apply the 1% rule in your life, like starting today? Let's make this super practical. Here are 4 daily habits to get you started. First, save. The easiest hack for this, just set up an automatic transfer. The day you get paid, have 1% or maybe even up to 10% of your paycheck automatically moved to a savings account. Seriously, you won't even notice it's gone. Second, learn. Just 10 minutes a day. We'll get into what that looks like in a sec. Third, invest. Don't wait until you have a big chunk of money. Grab an app and start with just $5 a week. Just get the ball rolling. And fourth, improve a skill. Pick one thing, just one, that could help you earn more. Maybe it's getting better at Excel or learning public speaking.
then spend just 15 minutes a day watching free tutorials on it.
Okay, let's double click on that learn habit for a second. A 10-minute routine is so easy. It could be reading just one chapter of a finance book, or hey, watching a short explainer just like this one, or maybe you pop on a money podcast during your drive to work. Honestly, it doesn't really matter what you do. The only thing that matters is doing it every day. Consistency is king. So if it's this simple, why isn't everybody doing it? Well, the main reason people get stuck, it's not that they aren't trying hard enough. It's because they just completely underestimate how powerful these small daily actions really are. You know, they're always searching for that one big win, that buried treasure chest, and they totally miss the little gold coins lying on the ground right in front of them. But the people who really get ahead, they know the secret. They're not obsessed with these grand one-off gestures. They are obsessed with making small, consistent improvements because they get it. They understand that the person you're going to be in the future and the wealth you're going to have isn't built by what you do once in a while. It's built by what you do day in and day out. So, I want to leave you with this one question. Forget about a year from now. Don't even think about next week. What is the one small thing, that 1% improvement that you are going to do today? What's the one action your future self is going to look back and thank you for?
If you have found this video insightful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. We promise to bring to you more educational videos related to finance and wealth.